we have plenty of personnel there. And apparently they are re-entering the scores now. Tim, I'm sure there was a time maybe in the 1896 Olympics when gymnastics made its debut that you just sat back and watched it and said, I like that. That impressed me.
We did that in the early
win.
days. Yeah, something like that. Jessica Lopez, this is her 4th trip to the American Cup. Graduated from the University of Denver. Jessica says she won't be satisfied until she medals at a World Championship or an Olympic Games. That really, truly is her goal. And at age 25, that is why she is still in this sport.
Beautiful tumbling run on the beam.
Where did that come from?
That was excellent. When you take off for that backflip with 2 feet together, makes it much more difficult. Gives it a lot more flight. Here's another combination.
Nicely done.
It's a jam-packed routine here.
As we mentioned before, she just keeps getting better with age in terms of results. In 2007 at the World, she was 78th, 2009, 37th, and then jumped in 2010 to 10th place in the world.
Her coach said that the thing that turned it around is she actually, on 3 days of the week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, has 3 trainings, and she's added weight training, and that has made all the difference.
Nicely done. The best event yet of the day.
Well, we think the computer has finally spit out the number that Alexandra Raisman really wanted to hear. 14.933. So we'll have to see where that places her, but it's come down to the final rotation now, and for the men, that means high bar, and for the women, it's floor exercise. Daniel Purvis of Great Britain has competed here today in Jacksonville, Florida, with a very harsh injury to his finger. Here's a look at what it looks like. You saw it, Elfie. How nasty.
Yeah. Well, it was ugly, and it was bleeding, actually, just before that photo was taken. But take a look at the grip. He ripped that in the process. I mean, that's a bit scary. You got to have those backup grips ready to go.
And parallel bars is where it's just absolutely painful to hold on anyways. And on a simple underbar skill, he had problems holding on.
He actually was practicing on how to not put pressure on that finger. I don't know that that's even possible.
No, not really. Not really. He's fortunate that he doesn't do a ton of underbar skills. Here's one, but he just hasn't had a good day, but he's a fantastic gymnast.
Yeah, he's much better than what he showed us today.
He just completely disgusted with himself.
Well, it's almost over. We head to the final rotation, and we will see this new budding Russian star can clinch her first American Cup win. We're back live on NBC in Jacksonville, Florida. One more performance and the world champion could add another crown. The 2011 AT&T American Cup. The women head to floor exercise, the men to the high bar. And the overall theme of what we've seen today are slip-ups, mistakes, extra hops on the landings. Jonathan Horton could be on his way to winning this event for a third time in his career. And Mykola Kuksenkov of Ukraine is having a nice time of it as well. He's been a very good story. Cyril Thomasson of France completing the story there. Al Trautwig, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel. Guess as to why we're seeing all these mistakes.
Well, you know, I don't know. It is early in the year, but they just don't look prepared. But I'll tell you, a great story. I just heard this, you know, Mustafina, she is dominating the competition over a point ahead. Her head coach, Alexander Alexandrov, went up to her and said, "You will do simple floor routine." She said, "I will do everything."
Alfie, even she has had some, you know, some pretty good bobbles on the balance beam.
But yes, but you know, what we watched at the World Championships was perfection. She was awesome considering that was her first time at a World Championship. Coming here to the American Cup, in the last 5 months, she's updated her routine. She's made them more difficult. She's coming to the American Cup with a brand new floor routine. I marvel at that because she's not done yet. She keeps improving. But one thing that is for sure, she is one mentally tough athlete. It's awesome to watch.
I tell you, just, you know, he's the head coach of Russian gymnastics. You will do a simple floor routine. I will do everything.
Yeah. Women.
Without a pause.
Well, with the Olympics coming to London, we can say this about what we've witnessed today. The British gymnastics group has some work to do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They do, but this is a wonderful routine. And I think watching the practices, what I've seen so far in this group of women at the American Cup is a really great blend of artistry. They've chosen some exceptional music. That's what I'm excited about. Perhaps there have been mistakes and they're not quite ready for competition performance, but what you'll see in the coming floor routines is really great artistry.
Oh, jeez.
That's a shame.
All day long. I love the choreography, but it has been a mistake after mistake day for this team. Big step backwards and out of bounds, and the yellow flag comes up, and that means more deductions.
So her day is done, and now we make the move over to high bar. We'll go one at a time, and what they do is they flip the standings to a certain degree.
It's somewhat seated, but a little bit, it's a little funky in there.
You can easily get confused. It's Koji Uematsu, 6th place after the 5th rotation. And we've always loved the Japanese gymnasts on the high bar.
Yes. Beautiful, not just hard stuff, high flying, but also beautifully done. Right here, watch the first release. Nicely done. He has a very nice style on high bar, as do just virtually all of the Japanese that we see. Here's another one.
Nice.
Not done. Oh, and that
my
one,
goodness.
he barely got that around. That twist was very late. Oh, and that's a problem. He was supposed to travel over the bar. So he'll lose a few tenths for that. Great landing, though.
I'd say one of his best exercises of the day.
Well, he's inspired by Kohei Uchimura as a gymnast, but I'm thinking he's also taken his hair cues from him as well. The Japanese got some wild hair nowadays.
From Australia, Lauren Mitchell. Wheel and score on floor exercise at 13.0. Lauren was in 6th place after the 3rd rotation, so this will end her day.
What a great moment for Lauren last year at the World Championships. She is the current world champion.
And she was last up on this event. She had won 2 medals at the previous World and was medalless, and then just rocked the house. Oh, way over on that.
Well, we certainly haven't seen the best of Lauren Mitchell today, which is a shame. She's a much better athlete.
Jordan Weber's fall on the uneven bars changed a lot, and Mustafina would have to almost fall to Daytona to change the lead. We'll have a U.S. Bank sports report on the other side of this break.
No.
Back live at the 2011 AT&T American Cup. Al Trautwig, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, Andrea Joyce. We're on the final rotation to crown our men's and women's champions here. 8 men, 8 women. For the women, it's floor exercise, and for the men, it's the high bar. Hiding behind the scoreboard there was our leader, Aliyah Mustafina. Next up from Venezuela and the University of Denver, Jessica Lopez.
A bit of a slow start at the beginning of the competition with her first 2 events, but just coming off a very strong balance beam routine.
See the Olympic tattoos on her back there. Like you said, Elfie, a slow start for Jessica, but in the end, very nice balance, being a pretty good floor, too.
Yeah, very powerful music.
See those tattoo, those Olympic rings?
There's Jake Dalton for one rotation. He had us going there.
Yeah. But you know what? He's in 5th place, but it is really, really tight. He has a chance of getting on the podium. 3rd place is definitely possible.
Hang on.
Yeah. He does some pretty intricate work on high bar. Watch this. He'll catch a mixed grip. Very nicely done. And here we go. 2 releases in a row. Oh, took that one out. Usually does another flip catch right there.
Could that get him on the podium?
Yeah, it could. It could. It was pretty darn good, pretty clean. Usually sticks that dismount, though, I tell you. He's so strong in his legs.
We'll get his score when we come back to Jacksonville, Florida. Coming up, all the leaders in the AT&T American Cup.
Very good job. So give them a big round of applause. That's unbelievable. So what I like to do when we're in this situation, I like to bring out here, this is our goal. It's so cool to be able to 18 ACC American Cup to be actually on the beat where these girls compete. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get up there, and you guys are just going to chance. I think actually, this is crazy. I think it's a lot different when you're up here. So I think Allie is the one that says to us, just so you just get up there and feel where all these girls walk and look at the chalk marks right here, you know, and you can like turn around, you know, just get your feeling for the whole bit. And if you feel like you do a little split leap, Abby, why don't you come over here and try that? There you go. That's the time. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now come over here and just jump off. Big finish. Just won the Olympics. Wow. Let's hear it for Jacksonville. Abby, that's solid. Good job. One more time, guys. Go. These guys are moving. Big round of applause while we're running the race.
Back in Jacksonville, Florida, as we head toward the conclusion of the 2011 AT&T American Cup. Tim and Elfie, let me ask you this. We have two young American women, Alexandra Raceman on the right, Jordan Weber just off the picture on the left. What's your level of assuredness, 10 being real sure, that we're going to see on a scale of 1 to 10 these two in London?
Well, Jordan Weber,
Yes.
if she doesn't get hurt, my 1 to 10 is it's 10. She'll be on that team. Allie Raceman, like I've said before, one of her biggest competitions is going to be with her own teammate, Alicia Sacramone, because, you know, she's weak on bars. Alicia doesn't do bars, and so they're kind of the same gymnasts. They're both powerful and very good tumblers and vaulters. So, you know, that's about a, I think, a 5.
Wow. What are your numbers?
Well, I agree with Tim, even if you had asked me first. And there's the scenario for Allie Raceman, Alicia Sacramone. But the more difficult thing for these athletes to accomplish is what we talked about, 5 members on that team in London. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I give her a 5, and I give Alicia Sacramone a 5. Split the difference. Well, that is just a jam-packed routine. She's even upgraded. She was 4th, 1 place shy of winning a world championship medal, and she has upgraded the routine.
And what Allie has going for her, especially after watching this routine, is she keeps proving to Marta Karolyi, and this is her first tumbling pass, she keeps proving that she is worthy of being on this American team because she's hitting, not making mistakes, and that's what Marta wants to see. She's looking for those numbers, the consistency. She's on the sidelines, but she can be heard.
She's the boss, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
She's got the kind of voice you can hear through a crowd. It's going to be hard for Raceman to move up from 3rd because she's over a point back at 2nd.
But that was an excellent routine.
We go back to the men on the high bar, and coming in in second place, but not by much, by .166 is Mykola Kutsenkov.
And he's been great today from start to finish. He's good on high bar as well, but he certainly does not have the advantage because John's better on high bar, and John gets to see what he does. So he could alter his routine. Beautiful release combination. Same thing we saw from Jake Dault. Here we go. He'll flip over the bar now. A little bit close. Another critical release combination. And that's applying a little bit of pressure on Jonathan Horton. As I said, he's going to be a player without question come 2012.
Last little moment of concentration for a woman who, barring some major catastrophic mistake, is going to win this American Cup.
Well, she has all these different scenarios for tumbling too. She could be doing this or that, and then in her second pass could be doing this or that. She has all these options. I don't think I've ever seen an athlete at this level of competition with as many as she comes into this with.
She has such confidence. She Skyped with her dad at the World Championship. She said, "Don't worry, Dad, I can't lose."
That was a 3.5 twist. Looks like she's going for it.
Oh boy! Wow. That could be considered a complete fall, which is a point.
If that's a full point.
It's still close though. I mean, it's possible. There is no question. You just don't see her make mistakes like this. She's just way under rotated. Let's look at this. This is a 2.5, and she's not rotated enough. So she,
full weight.
You know who that looks almost exactly like?
Yes, Rebecca Bross at the World Championships
Yeah.
in 09.
Yeah, where she.
Yep.
She's trying to end the long drought for Russian gymnasts here at the American Cup. That's Elena Zamolodchikova, who's judging on the beam, and she was a winner here in 2001. Well, we'll see what happens and how the judges view it. Isn't that always the case in this sport? It is here this afternoon in Jacksonville, Florida. penny for your thoughts, Aliyah Mustafina of Russia. She needed to just get through it and be her usual standard, and she would have won here. She didn't take anything out. She kept her routine complicated, and the judges just hammered her. 13.666. And now this is an opportunity for Jordyn Wieber. She needs a 14.832. She probably hasn't thought that this was possible for an hour and a half.
Without question. She can do it. She's great on floor, actually brilliant on floor, but that is a big number. And she also does some really tricky stuff.
Was Mustafina stubborn?
Yeah, she was definitely stubborn.
She made the decision ultimately.
Her
in the
coach
end.
said, you know, we'll do an easy routine, and she said, no, we won't.
Big test right here off the top. First tumbling pass.
Oh, gosh.
And she's out of bounds.
That was a 3/10 step for sure, and if both feet went out, it's 3 more tenths. Another big step. I think only 1 foot went out, so that will be just a 1/10 of a point. It started a little bit shaky. Her first 2 landings were big steps, but then she got it under control. Now, it's gonna be really close.
Mustafina was off on the sideline. She watched the entire thing.
Wow.
What a dramatic
Wee bit exciting.
change. All right, now Jonathan Horton on the high bar needs a 14.867 to take the lead from Kuksinkov.
Which is definitely doable. John in warm-ups, though, he does these releases where he flies over the bar, does double backs, sometimes in stretched positions, sometimes with a full twist. In the warm-ups, he was really close on a lot of them.
He said he was planning to go as high as 17.0 for his start value.
Can you imagine how excited right now Kuksinkov is? And Wieber gets a 15.0.
And that does it. We're getting word that it's actually a 14.9, which is just barely enough. I believe she has 1. Oh. He's hanging in there. Really close to the bar on that 1 release. Here's another one. Very similar.
That felt significant.
He's a tough kid today, without a doubt. The broken thumb kept him out of training. Where he said about 2 months, has only been doing routines for a couple of weeks, gets a congratulatory hug from his coach Tom Meadows, who coached him since he was a little boy.
But the number is out. And it's at 14.9, which means that Jordan Weber is going to win this American Cup by .068.
Oh, I don't think she knows it. I see her coach, Don Gennard, just jumped for joy.
What a comeback.
I'll be happier than me.
Not only a comeback in this American Cup, but a comeback within her own floor exercise routine.
No question. Yeah, she started out rocky with those big steps in the beginning.
6.06.
Decision to do the routine as she knew it. And with a major mistake, it cost the Russian. The AT&T American Cup Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by AT&T, Rethink Possible. By Visa, proud sponsor of Team USA. More people go with Visa. And by U.S. Bank. All of us serving you, U.S. Bank. We're back, and a couple of last-second by thread victories. And there's just one last thing to determine, and this is Cyril Thomasson of France. He needs a 14.598 to knock Jake Dalton off the podium here, which is top 3, of course, at the American Cup.
And it's possible, but he's got to be really good. Handstands are critical, like that one. Well,
that's it.
That is it. Jake Dalton. He will be third.
Well, this turns out to be just a stunning come-from-behind win for a second time in her career. 15-year-old Jordyn Wieber. She wins this by .068. That means that's one of those little steps we talk about, one of those tenths that always comes up. And Alexandra Raisman comes in third behind Aliyah Mustafina of Russia, who must be inconsolable right about now. Let's get some Jordyn Wieber insight from Andrea Joyce.
Well, you're right, Al. High drama indeed, right up until the last few minutes. Jordyn, when you finished your routine on the floor, did you think you had done enough? I mean, you knew that Mustafina had left the door open.
Yeah, I did. You know, I tried to get every single thing in that floor routine, you know, try my best. And I feel like I really pulled it through. And even with, you know, going out of bounds once, I still got a high enough score.
Well, talk about never giving up. Second rotation, you have that uncharacteristic mistake on the bars. How much of that was nerves, and how did you pull yourself back together? Did you just say, I'm not giving up? What was it?
It was kind of a fluky mistake, you know. I was a little disappointed after that, but, you know, I just had to act like nothing happened, and I had to go on beam and floor and finish up strong.
Business as usual, but here you are. You just beat, at the American Cup, the world all-around champion. I mean, everybody's talking about this matchup and the showdown in London. What does this tell you? What did you learn about yourself here at this competition?
I just learned that, you know, I came out strong. This is my very first senior meet, and I feel like it was really important for me to do well here, and I'm glad that I did.
And you beat the world's best.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, congratulations. Al?
Yeah, Andrea, and that's part of the complication here. The world's best, who didn't think it was right that Wieber was even allowed to compete here, and this is a little bit of a last-second nightmare for the Russians to take home with them.
Yeah, and remember, her coach, Alexandrov, said, you need to do an easy routine. And, you know, she's very stubborn. He says that, you know, she's very talented, but has a very difficult character. And
Things will change.
yeah, I don't think so.
Meanwhile, that was by .068. Jonathan Horton is going to win his third American Cup by less than 0.2 of a point. So that is crazy. But what a nice, encouraging second place for Mykola Kusenkov of Ukraine. And Dalton does finish third. He is on the podium here in Jacksonville. Let's go back to Andrea.
Yeah, and Al, this is the second time that Jonathan Horton has won an American Cup here in Jacksonville. What is it about this town that brings out the best in you?
I don't know. It's a great crowd. It was, you know, really exciting day. It was, you know, a little rough for me all over the place. You know, I didn't have the most time to prepare for it.
Well, talk about that. How does this work? You said you only had 2.5 weeks of full workouts before this competition. How do you come out here and win then? And you beat a guy who landed above you at the podium at Worlds.
I'll tell you exactly how I did it. I consider myself a guy that lives by faith. And, you know, I kept praying all day. I was like, God, get me through this. I'm not in shape right now. Trained for 2.5 weeks because I broke my thumb about 2.5 months ago. And he gave me the strength to get through everything. So I couldn't be more excited to, you know, have landed everything and didn't fall, but it was a little sloppy here and there, but I'm happy with it.
Did you know how close it was going into that last rotation?
I did. You know, I was watching the scores the whole time, and I even left out a skill on high bar. I was too tired, but I was like, I know how close it is. I don't have the energy to do it. Hopefully what I'm doing right now is enough. So 510
days to London. Has the march begun for you?
The march began a long time ago. So, I mean, we've got so much work to do. It's going to be here before you even know it. So, you know, I just want to go home, polish my routines, and do everything that I can. I want to be able to walk away from this next Olympics and know that I did everything possible.
Congratulations and best of luck. We look forward to seeing you down the road.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, back to you, Al.
Okay, well, more evidence and more reasons why you have to play the game to its end, don't you?
You certainly do. I tell you, he looked exhausted, though.
He did look tired. And congratulations, Jake Dalton. He was an injury fill-in. He was the leader after the first rotation. And a day of learning, perhaps, for a world champion at the American Cup. And the ceremony begins. A couple of repeat American champions here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
Through the pain, Jonathan Horton winning here for a third time. Alexandra Raisman.
She had a great day.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
She did herself a lot of favors.
She had the most, the cleanest competition of any of the women out on the floor.
Consistency, that's key.
Horton and Wieber, the two 2011 AT&T American Cup champions here in Jacksonville, Florida. Tomorrow, a bitter rivalry. The Philadelphia Flyers head to Madison Square Garden to face off against the New York Rangers. The NHL Game of the Week tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern, only on NBC. Coming up next, the PGA Tour's Florida swing begins at PGA National from Palm Beach Gardens with the Honda Classic with Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, and Andrea Joyce. I'm Al Trawick. Thanks for joining us for the AT&T American Cup. Good afternoon from Jacksonville, Florida, here on NBC.